#1 News, ABC7 Eyewitness News at 7 starts streaming now.
We're following breaking news tonight. 2 teens shot, 1 killed in Chicago. Police trying to figure out who's responsible.
Also on this hour of Eyewitness News, 2 years since the insurrection on Capitol Hill. President Biden honoring heroes of that day.
Plus progress toward picking a House Speaker, but no one has the position yet, as lawmakers are set to return later tonight.
And later this hour, a woman shares her personal experience with blood donations, why she feels more should donate.
Big skate for a little boy. The new member of the Chicago Blackhawks getting the wish of a lifetime, making Chicago proud. Thanks for joining us on this Friday tonight at 7. I'm Rob Elgis.
And I'm Samantha Chapman. We're going to begin with breaking news. 1 teen is dead. Another is in critical condition after a shooting in a gas station parking lot. This happening a short time ago in the 600 block of South Independence in Holman Square. Police are investigating. No one is in custody.
Yeah, the sound of gunshots caught on camera. 2 men inside a tow truck hurt. A family was sitting inside their home nearby when bullets came flying through their bedroom. It's all happened in the 3600 block of North Avondale. Christian Pico spoke to the family about their close call.
Chicago police say those gunshots came from inside of a dark-colored SUV, which ultimately sent 2 men in a tow truck to local hospitals. As police continue to search for a suspect or suspects and a motive, neighbors on this quiet street say they are shocked by the sudden violence. A Chicago police officer goes door to door while crime scene tape hangs from a tree and glass is left shattered on the street. The remains of early morning gunfire on the 3600 block of North Avondale Avenue.
What happens outside the neighborhood doesn't always stay outside the neighborhood.
Doorbell cam video captured the sounds of rapid gunfire, which police say left 2 men with wounds, 1 shot in the stomach, another whose head was grazed by a bullet around 2 a.m. Police say the men were taken to local hospitals in fair condition.
It's honestly upsetting and overwhelming because you really just don't expect that to happen on the street.
I screamed at my wife to get down.
Neighbor Ryan Johns, his wife, and 2 daughters were fast asleep when the gunfire erupted. Ryan says the bullet ripped through their bedroom wall and then
It came through the headboard and stopped right at the mattress.
The bullet missed his wife by just inches.
She's a little obviously emotionally distraught, and then so am I. I mean, we could be talking about a completely different story.
Police say the bullet-riddled tow truck drove to Logan Square after the shooting, about 2 miles away, before CPD taped off the scene. Hours later, neighbors say the sudden violence is cause for concern.
I mean, my wife and I are committed to the city, but and have no plans to leave, but it is something that gives you pause.
Tonight, it's still unclear why that tow truck was attacked and if the victims were out on a call. Police say no one is in custody. We're on the northwest side. I'm Christian Picos, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Christian, thank you. Now to remembrances today, marking 2 years since the insurrection at the U.S. Capitol. This afternoon at the White House, President Biden honored 14 people with the Presidential Citizens Medal today. Those recipients included law enforcement officers who were injured, as well as Officer Brian Sicknick, who died during the chaos. His parents accepted his medal.
You held the line that day, and what was on the line was our democracy. And history will remember your names. And history will remember your names. They'll remember your courage. They'll remember your bravery.
Earlier today, a moment of silence was held on the Capitol steps to mark 2 years since the insurrection. Several Illinois lawmakers attended today's Capitol attack remembrances. They honored the heroic actions of those who protected the Capitol that day and talked about where our country is now, 2 years later. Sarah Schulte reports.
A moment of silence on the Capitol steps for the 5 Capitol police officers who died as a result of the January 6th attack and the 140 officers who were injured on this day 2 years ago.
We do need to acknowledge that there's a right and a wrong, that those officers should not be dead today, and that democracy is worth preserving.
Illinois Democrats joined other members of Congress to commemorate a day they will never forget. Northside Congressman Mike Quigley remembers how quickly the insurrection escalated when he watched police take Speaker Nancy Pelosi off the House floor in a hurry.
Then all hell broke loose. At that point, you could hear explosions, tear gas canisters going off, people screaming.
As Quigley and others look back, they are grateful to the Capitol Police for saving their lives and democracy. But they say healing is a long way off.
I think the Department of Justice needs to pursue everyone who was involved with the insurrection.
But Congressman Sean Casten is unsure if prosecuting former President Donald Trump is the right call to hold our union together.
There's a robust conversation that none of us could ever resolve around, can a democracy hold people in great power accountable, right? Have we ever really done that?
At the very least, Democrats say healing from January 6th and preserving democracy needs more Republicans like Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger, who are willing to put country over party in power. Only one Republican attended today's ceremony on the Capitol steps.
Until we get back to that, we're going to live with those concerns that this could happen again. Democracy is fragile.
Sarah Schulte, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
The ABC 7i team is tracking the number of people charged by the Department of Justice in connection with the January 6th attacks. Around 900 people have been arrested from nearly all 50 states. In Illinois, at least 35 residents now facing charges. There are 24 people in the Chicago area charged in what is likely the largest criminal investigation in U.S. history. 16 have already pleaded guilty. Some are already serving time. Remember, Chicago police officer Carol Twizik turned down a plea deal and is scheduled to go on trial in May. He faces 5 misdemeanor charges. Prosecutors say he took photos of himself inside the Capitol, donning a tan sweatshirt with the Chicago police logo on it. He's been relieved of his police powers and not being paid. His sister's also charged, and her case is pending.
We're going to go outside right now, turning to our weather at 27 degrees. A lot of people are looking forward to the potential of having some sunshine this weekend.
We've been talking about it, Larry, and he's going to deliver just a little bit, right?
Not a lot, not full sunshine,
and
not a brilliant sunny day, but there will be some peaks of sunshine at times tomorrow and on Sunday, which will be a welcome sight. And some of us saw a few peaks of sunshine today, especially if you're out to the west, but not much. Temperatures now, they're in the mid to low 20s. It's 25 in Midway, 27 at the lakefront, 23 in Geneva, 28 in Munster, and 25 right now in McHenry. We still have quite a bit of cloud cover in place. You can see that here on the satellite radar view. Some light snow on the other side of the lake. But for us, the clouds will kind of hold firm this evening, but it will become partly cloudy later tonight. And first thing tomorrow morning, temperatures will start in the upper teens to mid 20s. Winds will come on off the lake starting tomorrow morning. That will likely bring a deck of clouds along the lakefront and across much of the city through most of the day tomorrow. But if you're farther inland, you've got a better opportunity to catch a little bit of sunshine during the day tomorrow. Temperatures tomorrow, mid 30s, 39 on Sunday. How about 42 on Monday? Monday's the day with the best opportunity to see more sunshine. We'll talk about 40s that continue early next week, and then some rain and snow chances all coming up.
Snow chances, okay. We'll see you soon, Larry. U.S. House of Representatives will be back at work tonight at 9 our time when lawmakers may start a 14th round of voting for a House Speaker.
After days of stalemate, Republican leader Kevin McCarthy gaining some momentum today. ABC's Faith Abube reports.
4 days into floor votes to elect the next House Speaker, Republican leader Kevin McCarthy at last picking up momentum. Cheers on the House floor as more than a dozen of the anti-McCarthy holdouts moved into the GOP leader's support column, cracking the ultra-conservative coalition against him. McCarthy. This amid back-to-back losses for the California lawmaker. But even with the progress, McCarthy still lacks the votes to claim the speakership.
The last 4 days, they haven't been ideal. They've been difficult. But I do see fighters. I see patriots who love this country and want to make things better.
Friday afternoon, just after his 13th straight loss, McCarthy projecting confidence that he has the votes to win tonight.
It just reminds me of what my father always told me. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. And now we have to finish for the American public.
The GOP leader reiterating his latest round of concessions to the so-called rebel Republicans who have refused to lend him their support, including a change to the House rules to allow just one lawmaker, Republican or Democrat, to trigger a vote to remove him as Speaker. While some have flipped in his favor, the remaining ultra-conservatives claiming never Kevin are still holding their ground.
Mr. McCarthy doesn't have the votes today. He will not have the votes tomorrow. And he will not have the votes next week, next month, next year.
And after McCarthy lost his 13th vote, the House adjourned until 10 p.m. tonight. In Washington, Faith Abube, ABC News.
The Illinois State Senate is not taking up the proposed ban on assault weapons today after the House approved it last night. The Senate is now planning to meet and take up the issue on Sunday. The bill would ban the sale of assault-style weapons and high-capacity magazines with more than 12 rounds. Lawmakers created the bill in response to the Hyde Park mass shooting.
One of the candidates for Chicago mayor was removed from the ballot this afternoon. Board of Elections found Frederick Collins did not have the required number of signatures on his nominating petition. With Collins removed, there they are. Now 9 candidates, including incumbent Lori Lightfoot, is seeking the mayor's office on the 5th floor of City Hall. This election is February 28th.
Now to dramatic video of what appears to be an explosion at a suburban townhome. The Ring doorbell video captures the moment that an apparent explosion and fire broke out in northwest suburban Maine Township. This happened yesterday on Margale Avenue. The flames first swept through one townhome and quickly spread to more units, leaving at least 4 families without a place to live. A firefighter was treated for burns. So far, there's still no word on a cause.
Man convicted after a crash that killed a pregnant woman and her 3 sons will not have his sentence reconsidered. Deshaun Wolf was sentenced to 2 years in prison earlier this week. Prosecutors say Wolf was speeding when this crash happened in 2017 in Beecher. In July, he pleaded guilty to 5 counts of reckless homicide.
An 18-year-old is back in court today on DUI and reckless homicide charges in a crash that killed 2 siblings. Prosecutors say Tyler Schmidt was speeding when his vehicle struck the back of a school bus in unincorporated Campton Township last October. His passengers, 20-year-old Grace DeWald and her brother, 19-year-old Emil DeWald, were killed. Kane County prosecutors say Schmidt was under the influence of marijuana at the time.
Robbery attempt turns violent not far from the University of Chicago campus. Happened about 3:30 this morning near 52nd and Kimbark in Hyde Park. A man told police he was walking home when 2 people got out of a car, demanded his property. He refused, and that's when police say he was shot in the leg. So far, no arrests have been made.
The Gary, Indiana Police Department has a new leader. City officials tapped Indiana State Police Major Jerry Williams as the interim chief. The move comes as the city works to reform the police department.
Our plan is, and the plan will be, is to do a hard reset here with the Gary Police Department. And I will make every effort to continue to advance the work that's been done over the last 8 months. And well into the future itself.
Gary has not had a permanent police chief since 2020. Turning to this story now, Buffalo Bills player Damar Hamlin is now breathing on his own.
What a week. He surprised his teammates today, briefly FaceTiming them as they met, telling them, quote, "Love you guys." He's speaking now.
Yes.
Hamlin's obviously not playing this weekend, but his team is, and his number will be there. Bills spray painted a blue outline around the 3 on the 30-yard line of the field. Team plans to wear patches with Hamlin's number 3 on their jerseys.
And it's not just the Bills. The entire NFL will be showing their support. All 16 teams that will have upcoming games will have the option to wear the shirt during warm-ups. And there will be a moment of silence where fans will be asked to support Hamlin and his caregivers. By the way, Hamlin's jersey is now the most purchased among all athletes on the website Fanatics. And of course, we can understand why so many people across the country and beyond are pushing for Hamlin.
If you heard some of the players talking earlier, Josh Allen, and the coach, they were emotional. And for that, that call and seeing him speaking and conscious, what it did to that team and for them must have just been, it's hard to imagine.
Yeah,
incredible.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought I heard that it was a surprise to them that he popped up on video, right? I don't know if they were expecting it.
Yeah, Michelle says yes. And also, too, because just the night before, they were saying that he was writing But no one had known, I think, until that, maybe on the team, that his breathing tube had been removed.
What a surprise.
Oh, man. And you know, all those NFL teams and players in some way are going to show their support for him in the games tomorrow and then on Sunday. It's a huge positive. It's hard to believe it was just Monday, and here we are on Friday, and he's speaking.
Yes, it's going to be a heavy couple of days, heavy weekend, really, as we watch the games and watch how they pay tribute. But so glad that he is able to speak, and seems like every day more progress.
Yeah, we covered the story too about his toy drive. He had raised like $2,500 with that thing, and the night that he was injured, it started to go viral. Here's his toy drive, and it was like over $3 million.
It's incredible. I saw that GoFundMe as well, and you know, of course, so many people, they want to support him, and clearly he's been doing a lot for the community. The community now wants to support him.
To hear him eventually talk about it all is just going to be remarkable. Yeah, it's been something. Seasonal flu activity is high, but it is declining in most areas. This is according to a report today from the CDC. Nationwide cases have increased about 10% from the previous week. But right now, Illinois and Wisconsin are in the moderate category for flu-like activity. Indiana is in the high category.
Illinois dispensaries sold $1.5 billion worth of marijuana products in 2022. That's according to a new report. That's a lot of pot. Sales were up 12% from 2021 and 131% from 2020, which was the first year recreational cannabis became legal. And there are currently 113 dispensaries across the state. That includes the first 3 social equity dispensaries, which opened last year.
A lot of tax money, too.
Yes.
Illinois Holocaust Museum Education Center in Skokie has announced its new CEO. Bernard Cherkasov previously led the Cradles to Canyons organization. When he was 13 years old, Cherkasov and his family fled anti-Semitism and ethnic violence in his native country, came to the United States as refugees. Cherkasov also served as CEO of Equality Illinois. He takes on his new role next month.
The remains of a World War II airman from Illinois have been accounted for. 32-year-old Harold Kretzer of Odin in downstate Marion County was a U.S. Army Air Force's tech. In the summer of 1943, he was on board a bomber that was hit by enemy fire and crashed. New technology allowed his remains to be identified decades after the war. He will be buried in Springfield.
The late Jim Ryan was honored today with a moment of silence in Springfield. The former 2-term Illinois Attorney General died last June. While Ryan was a public servant, he endured personal tragedy, including 3 bouts with cancer and a young daughter lost to suicide and a son to suicide. Political leaders say Ryan's most enduring legacy was his humanity and desire to help others.
He was the classic statesman, but more importantly, he ran the Attorney General office with a servant's heart. We need more of that.
Rising above personal challenges is meaningful to me. I'm a cancer survivor myself.
Ryan's son and widow were also at the state capitol today. They say the tragedies and heartaches that Ryan lived through helped shape his view of public service.
It is 3 Kings Day, also known as the Epiphany or the 12th day of Christmas.
It's a day of particular importance in Latin America and among Latinos in Chicago, where it's called El Dia de los Reyes. Race and culture reporter Will Jones has a closer look at today's celebrations.
In a neighborhood that's undergoing gentrification, cultural celebrations bringing the community together take on greater importance.
Today we're celebrating a special day for us Puerto Ricans. I like celebrating with my family and having fun.
Since 1995, the Puerto Rican Cultural Center has been sponsoring a 3 Kings Day gathering in Humboldt Park for families. The holiday, also known as the Feast of the Epiphany, celebrates the biblical tale of the 3 wise men who visited baby Jesus shortly after his birth.
It's a very important day of celebrating Puerto Rican culture, but also the culture of Latin America. Every Latin American country has its own traditions of celebrating the 3 Kings Day.
The PRCC allowing kids to take home a wrapped gift and a bike of their choice.
My mom told me that it's a really tall bike and cute bike. We're getting presents, and you know, Jesus got presents too, you know?
In addition to helping out once again with the Humboldt Park celebration, the Latin American Motorcycle Association also hosting a 3 Kings Day party at their clubhouse in Logan Square for the first time.
I don't know what it's like at home for some of these kids, but they know they come here, they get something to eat, they get toys, you know, they get welcomed in, and, you know, hopefully in the future they can take this over. Maybe they'll be riding one day and running this thing.
Bringing joy on 3 Kings Day to a new generation of kids. Will Jones, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
like hearing from the kids. A major development in fighting Alzheimer's. The treatment that just got approval, that's ahead.
Plus the cost of the chaos, the amount of money Southwest claims it is losing over those holiday cancellations.
And the suburban community that's gone to the dogs. Adorable dogs. Hello, hello. Check, check. 1, 2, 3, 4. Snap. Pop. DJ Greg in the house.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Made it to the weekend.
All right. And I'm off this weekend.
Good. Because I was wondering, I'm like, wait a second, Sam's going to have to get up really early, but you're off.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to a little sunshine, maybe.
It'd be good if we can do it, Larry.
A little bit.
A little bit.
Anything?
You won't need the sunscreen.
Okay.
Let's just put it that way, all right? But I think we'll get a few breaks in the clouds. And on both days, really. Saturday and Sunday, we'll call it mostly cloudy to partly sunny, with temperatures not too bad. Average highs 32 will be in the upper 30s both Saturday and on Sunday. Right now, we're in the 20s. It's been a cold afternoon. Sitting at 27 degrees right now at O'Hare. Not much of a wind chill. In fact, none at the moment as winds have calmed down out of the southwest around 3 miles per hour. It's 25 in Woodstock, 28 in Gary, 24 in Joliet, and 23 right now in Aurora. We still have quite a bit of cloud cover with us this evening, but those clouds will try to thin out a little bit overnight tonight. And as the clouds thin out, it's going to be a pretty cold night as we drop into the teens and low 20s overnight tonight. Really cold back across the northern plains. It's 1 in International Falls, 11 right now in Minneapolis. We've got some warmer temperatures to the south. St. Louis is at 40. But for us overnight tonight, you can see how our temperatures will drop off into the mid to low 20s here in the city, some upper teens in the suburbs. Winds will turn off the lake during the day tomorrow. That's going to be one factor that will limit the sunshine for us. We'll likely have a deck of clouds rolling in off the lake tomorrow morning, and that may stick around through most of the day. So if you're away from the lake, you've got a better opportunity to see some sunshine. The closer you are to the lake, the more likely it's to stay cloudy through much of the day on Saturday. But here's how cold it gets tonight. You see those teens to mid 20s for overnight lows. And then tomorrow, high temperatures in the mid 30s with mostly cloudy skies. Some breaks in the clouds, though, especially away from the lake. 34 was our high today, 25 the low, 32 and 20 are the averages for this time of year. There's a little disturbance down here across parts of Missouri and Arkansas. That's going to slide just to our south as we head through the weekend. The big storms remain out here along the west coast where more rain's coming through Northern California and then stretching up to the Pacific Northwest. This rain will spread downstate into Central California, even Southern California. We'll have another bout of rain this weekend. Flood alerts remain in place and we still have snow falling in the Sierra Nevadas here of Northern California with winter storm warnings. For us though, that little disturbance to the south will try to get closer to us tomorrow night into Sunday morning. Tomorrow, though, quiet with a high of 37. Here's Sunday morning, and there might be some flurries for areas south of the city. Nothing heavy. It looks like most of the snow will stay well to our south. And as we head into the afternoon on Sunday, temperatures climb into the upper 30s. On Monday, we'll warm into the 40s, 42 for a high, and we'll stay right around 40 for a high on Tuesday with kind of a mix of sun and clouds on Monday and on Tuesday. But tonight, a cold night. We'll drop into the teens to mid-20s, mostly cloudy. Some patchy fog will be possible overnight tonight with temperatures well below freezing. There could be some freezing fog concerns. Tomorrow, mid to upper 30s with partly sunny skies, but more cloud cover closer to the lake. When you look at the 7-day forecast, this is a pretty comfortable forecast for January with highs in the 40s on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and on Thursday. We'll likely have a storm system coming in Thursday to Friday. The track of that low that moves in Thursday and Friday still yet to be determined, but it looks like it'll probably start as rain and then switch over to some snow for Thursday night into Friday. That could be our first really kind of big weather maker we've seen so far this year.
Big how?
Well, it's way too early to tell.
Okay.
If the track of that were to track a little farther south, we would be talking about snow accumulation. Right now, it looks like the low is going to move to our west, which would mean more rain than snow. So we got a ways to watch.
Yeah, way too early.
Just watch those 2 days. Yeah.
No, good heads up. Thank you. Watch this. It's not something you see every day. Horse wandering alongside the road. Someone spotted this horse near a bike trail in Bartlett early this morning. Horse was taken to a nearby equestrian center. We're told the owner did pick it up. I don't know, how do you lose a horse?
Right? And I mean, just roaming, huh?
It wasn't far from home.
Yeah.
Just got out of the stable and enjoying maybe some nice weather.
Yeah, I guess so. The Best in Show now on stage at the Great American Dog Show in Schaumburg. 200 dog breeds recognized by the American Kennel Club are competing. This is the first large-scale dog show in the Chicago area in several years. It runs through Sunday. Always great to see those dog shows. And look at that little one go.
Yeah, a little agility. You get Nugget out there.
Yep.
Could compete.
You know, Nugget is kind of bougie, you know, like he wants to be left alone, and when he wants to play, he'll play. But he's not doing tricks without a major reward.
Okay.
Like a bully stick.
Oh, those are good. If a bougie dog exists, they're probably at the kennel show, so
Okay.
he might fit right in.
That's a good point.
Right.
That's probably the bougiest of all bougie
Right.
dogs.
Well, I hope he gets a bully stick this weekend, especially because you're off.
That's right. What about Snoop? Would he fare well in this?
He would just be so happy. He would just lick everybody and want to be your friend. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, but he's smart. He is pretty smart. But
Yeah.
he just would want to cuddle with you.
Okay.
Who wants to be a millionaire? Could be a billionaire down the road. The major amount of money up for grabs in tonight's Mega Millions drawing.
Hi, I'm Jason Knowles. You may have the winter blues, but there are cheap flights available right now during the off-peak season. How you can save plus avoiding cancellations and delays coming up.
If the gray skies around the Chicago area are getting to you, you might be dealing with the January blues.
Feels like it. Today, our consumer eye team may have a remedy. Cheap travel deals available right now. Consumer investigator Jason Knowles has valuable information on the dramatic drop in airfares.
We have some tips to save you money and increase your chances of scoring the best ticket price right now and for the months ahead. Plus, how you can avoid those dreaded cancellations and delays. January and February travel can save you as much as 80%. Travel expert Katie Nastro from Scott's Cheap Flights is sharing her research. Look at this, round-trip airfare from Chicago to Paris, In December, she says it would have cost you more than $1,600, but in January, just under $500.
Everybody does Europe in the summer, but maybe think about it in the winter and you're going to pay a lot less.
You're not dealing with the crowds. And, because it is an off-peak season, especially in Europe, you're going to get deals on not only airfare, but hotels, activities, and even rental cars.
Nastro says you can get deals to Ireland for under $500 and an exotic Tahiti trip for under $1,000 round trip. Domestic travel is cheaper too. Chicago to Colorado Springs, as little as $138 round trip.
That's a really great deal. And we know that going skiing is costly once you get there, but if you can save on airfare before you get there, then, you're all the better.
Miami is a popular winter destination. In December, flights were around $500 round trip. For the next couple months, they'll be around $150 round trip. And to find lower prices year-round?
There are days of the week that you can travel on that are typically less expensive. So that would be a Tuesday, a Wednesday, a Saturday.
Also, being flexible with which airports you fly in and out of can save you big. For example, check secondary airports in large metropolitan areas. To avoid cancellations, choose non-stop flights and morning flights because your plane has typically been at the airport overnight. And if your flight is canceled, search for an international customer service number.
And you might have a better chance of getting through to someone that will be able to help right away.
While these deals are available now, in general, you should not wait until the last minute to book, but don't do it too early either. It's called the Goldilocks window. If booking for peak season travel on domestic flights, book 3 to 7 months in advance. International, 4 to 9 months in advance. That means if you're traveling this summer, booking now will get you the best deals. Jason Knowles, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Really great tips, Jason. Thank you. Speaking of airlines, Southwest is putting a price tag on its holiday flight meltdown. The airline says the operational issue that led to nearly 17,000 flight cancellations, they say it will cost the airline between $725 million and $825 million. That includes lost revenue plus reimbursements for travelers and premium pay for workers.
The Food and Drug Administration grants accelerated approval for the experimental Alzheimer's drug lecanemab. It's one of the first experimental dementia drugs that appears to slow the progression of cognitive decline. But testing shows the treatment also carries risk of brain swelling and bleeding. Accelerated approval makes it easier and quicker for drugs treating serious conditions to be approved.
More promising news tonight on the jobs front. A new report by the Bureau of Labor Statistics says more than 200,000 jobs were added in December. The unemployment rate fell to 3.5%. Both numbers are better than economists predicted. Wages went up 0.3% in December. Now that is less than expected. While that doesn't help households struggling to pay bills, it is good news for the Federal Reserve's fight to ease inflation.
Mega Millions jackpot still climbing after many draws without a winner.
That's right. Tonight's jackpot is up to $940 million. Winning is a big dream for many people. And financial advisors say if your dream does come true, go for the lump sum.
The advantage of the lump sum is that you're going to have the opportunity to have more control over the assets. Specifically, how will they be invested? How will they be spent? The negative is you're going to take a bigger haircut on taxes in the year that you collect that lump sum.
If no one wins tonight, the jackpot for the Mega Millions drawing should top $1 billion.
Wow. So we'll have the numbers tonight on the news at 10. Do you play?
You know what? Every now and then.
Have you played any of these?
I haven't played any of these, but maybe today is my day.
This would be the day. Yeah.
Or maybe I should wait till it tops to $1 billion.
Billion, right? Because you don't want $900 million.
That's right, exactly.
I think I've played a couple times as these jackpots have swelled, and I don't know if we got a number.
No.
I feel like I can't get a number.
So the big question is, if you won, what would you do with the money?
Well, last time I pledged some of it to my coworkers.
Okay.
That's right. Greg's up there directing, so I would give everybody a lot. I would give half to charity right away. Yes. I mean, come on, who needs $500 million after whatever? Although you say that now, you'd never see me again.
Okay.
Right, but I don't know. I mean, there's just so much money. It's hard to wrap your head around.
So much money.
What about you?
Like $1 billion, that's just so much, right? You know what, maybe I don't know, I'd start a company, you know?
You could.
Start a company and,
right.
Like you said, give to charity, allow my parents to ball out and do their thing.
Oh, spend lavishly.
I'll give you $1 million.
Okay, all right, I'll do the same. Everybody on this show, I'll give you $1 million.
There we go.
I got to text Wendy to buy a ticket now.
Yep, exactly.
So we still got some time. Like I said, we'll have the winning numbers, Judy and I, tonight on Eyewitness News at 10.
The Great Chicago Blood Drive is just days away.
And up next, we're hearing directly from one blood donor on her inspiration and why she urges others to roll up their sleeves. Oh.
The Great Chicago Blood Drive is next week.
We have details in a minute. The American Red Cross says there's always a need for blood and asking anyone eligible to donate. But there's also a push to get more diversity among blood donors. And joining us tonight is a previous donor, Cynthia Torres. Hey, Cynthia, thanks for joining us tonight.
Hello.
We appreciate you being here. Why are you a donor? Can you tell us what inspired you to donate blood?
We lost our father to cancer in 2013. So after watching, his treatment with chemo and everything, I think saw firsthand how important blood donation and platelet donation is. So after that, my sister and I started donating more frequently. So it's to honor him and give back to people who, find themselves in the same situations that he was. So that's why we do it.
Cynthia, really sorry for your loss. It is truly inspiring and beautiful what you and your sister are doing now. Now, the Red Cross says despite being a fast-growing population, only a small percentage of Hispanics donate blood. What's your message to the Latino community, and why do you think that is, that they might be a little more hesitant?
I think it's not talked about in our community, and it's a shame. And until you need or you know someone that needs blood and platelets, you're not necessarily aware, but you don't understand the importance. And having been through this with my dad, it just made us aware. And I think, the Latino community we can help a lot. There's a lot of ways of helping and giving back. And it takes some time, but, it's a great way to give back. And I think, we need to have more conversations in elementary, high schools, and, universities about, just giving back.
And you sharing this helps. Cynthia, I can relate. My mom, Adriana, is a stage 4 cancer survivor. And it was those blood transfusions, strangers who saved her life. And she talks about that a lot now. And it's incredibly powerful thing. Can you share what it was like as your father was fighting that horrible disease and you knew that people's blood was helping him in that fight. I think until we experience that, a lot of people don't understand how important that was for you and your family.
Well, I know that thanks to all of his transfusions and platelet, transfusions, we were able to have him around for an extra year, which meant the world to us. And, again, like you said, until you see it or live through it, or someone who's lived through it firsthand, you just don't understand the importance. And, if I can do anything to give somebody an extra year with their loved one, why not do it? It doesn't take a lot of time. Yes, you can pick your dates, schedule it around your schedule. And it's not easy on them either as patients, because they know, and I believe cancer is one of the illnesses that uses up about 1/4 of the blood that is, donated. So it's just very important for anyone and everyone who can donate to do so.
And Cynthia, for anyone out there who might be watching, who might be afraid to donate, what would you say to them tonight?
So it's not as hard as it seems. You don't even have to look at the needle or your arm or the blood. You can just look away. The people who, are there, they're there to help you, and they're always very nice. They'll give you a snack afterwards, but you have to wait for a bit before you leave. It's very important. You never know when you will need it. So I think we can give back in that way. And who knows, you can also find out your blood type. Once you donate, the American Red Cross sends you a card and says, this is your blood type. So in case of an emergency, you can say, hey, I know I'm A positive, because immediately they'll use O negative, which is universal, which a lot of Latinos are. We have the, the highest number of people with O blood. So it's just a great opportunity to help and give back.
One last question, Cynthia, before you go. We see pictures of your family with him. How's everybody doing now? I bet some of those folks have grown up.
Yes, they have. Our oldest is now 21. The youngest is now 17 and heading off to college at the end of next fall. So yeah, they're all growing up fast.
I bet. And no doubt they're proud of you spreading this message. And your dad would be extremely proud sharing that as well. Thank you, Cynthia, so much.
Thank you.
And you can donate during the Great Chicago Blood Drive. Maybe you'll run into Cynthia. It's Wednesday and Thursday next week. It's fast approaching, 7 different locations. You can make an appointment, learn more on our website, abc7chicago.com. You know what else we did a story on, Sam, was you can track your blood now on this app. Yeah, so you download the app and then you can see where it's going. They'll show you where it's at in a storage facility. Really? And then you'll see that it went to Loyola Hospital, for example.
Oh my goodness.
And so I think it gives a little bit more of a personal touch. You won't know who it went to, right? But you'll know that it's on the move and that it's going somewhere specific to help somebody.
I love that. Have we covered this story?
Yeah, so we did. Okay. We've been doing these specials all week, and we talked to Holly Baker, I think it was, a woman who talked about how she was following her blood on the app. And you can get more information. Well, if you go to the Great Chicago Blood Drive, they'll tell you there how you can do it. I just think that's, with technology now, that's just
so cool.
Yeah, there's an extra reason to do it and follow and see what happens.
I've got to go back on our website to watch that story because I missed that. That is incredible.
Yeah, it's pretty
really,
neat.
really cool. Because, like you said, you're seeing your blood on the move, ready to help somebody. So that's amazing.
It is. It is. And you hear personal stories like that. It helps put faces to where this blood's going because so many people need it.
Such a great story from Cynthia. Still ahead, becoming a Blackhawk for a day. Meet the young boy whose dream came true today ahead. But first, let's check in with Larry.
Well, temperatures this weekend will be in the mid to upper 30s with kind of a mix of sun and clouds. Probably more clouds than sun, but there'll be some breaks in those clouds as we head into the weekend. And these temperatures, well, they're well above average. Average high this time of year is 32. I've got some 40s in the forecast for next week. We'll talk about that coming up.
The newest addition to the Blackhawks roster is making us Chicago proud. A young, very young player. He signed a one-day deal with the team, but it's been a difficult few years for Luka, and the team wanted to help out.
He's been battling leukemia, and the Make-A-Wish Foundation helped make his dream come true.
The Blackhawks skate-around had a special edition today. While the players got ready for tonight's game, Minnie, 88, patiently waited his turn. This is 6-year-old Luka Bear-Bish. He's a Blackhawks fan from California. Today, he and his family came to the United Center to grant Luka his wish of being a Blackhawks player.
Yeah, it was great to have Luka here and his family. You know, to see the guys come over when I blew the whistle, just to introduce Luka at the bench, everybody just lights up.
The Make-A-Wish Foundation coordinated with the Blackhawks to give the California boy his wish. You see, Luka has been battling leukemia for 3.5 years and is in remission.
Right there, right here, buddy.
My name?
Yep, right there. See the line right above your name, right there.
So from San Diego, his family traveled for Luka to sign the contract for his dream job for the day and meet his favorite player, Patrick Kane. And with some one-on-one instruction from Kane, Luka even scores.
To have Luka here and to see him and see how excited he is to meet some of his heroes, it's pretty special. There's things like what happened in the football game, and then having Luka here today, that you realize there's so much more to life than sports, and you know, this isn't just about inspiring a hockey team, it's inspiring everyone in everyday life.
He's a shooter. Not much of a passer, but he's a good shooter. Yeah, we had a lot of goals out there, right?
As for Luka, he let his play speak for itself. His only comment about today:
It was fun.
Luka and his family return this evening. Of course, they have a game. And you never know when the team might need a little inspiration on or off the ice. At the United Center, Leah Hope, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
It was fun.
Such a great story.
Definitely. Hawks game's underway, Michelle, right? No score? Correct. Okay.
Luka's up.
He's going to get a hat trick.
That's right. You know, I still wonder what the connection is, because they're in California, so like, was his grandmother from Chicago? Like, or does he just love the city?
Patrick Kane, he's awesome. And the 3 Stanley Cups, although it's been a minute, right?
Exactly, but
before he was born, right? Good point, Michelle.
Before he was born. But we're happy to have you, Luka, and really excited for him. It was fun.
Ahead, we're talking all things barbecue. We're revisiting our discussion last night.
Yes.
The cities at the top of one list. We'll see if you agree. We're going to talk about some grub. Oh, yeah, basted. If you missed the show last night, we know you didn't. You missed us talking about barbecue. Since all three of us, me, Samantha, and Larry, used to work in Texas.
Yes.
You were in Dallas, I was in El Paso. That inspired our producer, Michelle, to look up a survey of the best cities for barbecue. real estate company ranked the country's biggest cities based on number of restaurants, Yelp reviews, and more.
Coming in at number 1, San Antonio,
Okay.
Texas, right behind Austin, Texas. Number 3 takes outside the state of Texas and San Jose, California. That was surprising to me. And number 4, Nashville, Tennessee. Not so surprising. I could figure
There's
that.
some good barbecue down there. You might be wondering where Kansas City ranks. They have their own style of ribs and sauce, and that city comes in on the list at number 10.
Okay, yeah. A lot of people swear by Kansas City, though, like their barbecue.
That tangy.
Yeah, it's just a different taste, though. You got to
I'm
be
thinking of
into it.
Carolina. That's a little bit tangy, too, the Carolina barbecue sauce.
Yeah.
So how about Chicago?
As for Chicago, it ranks 29th, which I think is pretty good for Chicago, honestly, because I don't think we're a barbecue town.
We kind of agreed there's some great spots, though. There
Yeah.
are some great spots, yeah.
And a different report, though, from Food and Wine says the best ribs in Illinois, they are from Lim's Barbecue, and I think that's where you were.
Well, so in the break last night when we were talking about it, I was at Lem's, and you brought it up right away. You said, I go, what do you think the best barbecue in the city is? And you said Lem's.
Yes.
Yeah, you said Lem's.
It is a South Side staple, and I will tell you, I interviewed Michelle Obama's mother, and I asked her, because she was eager to come back to Chicago after, the presidency and stuff, and I said, what are the, top 2 places you came back to get food? She said, Italian Fiesta Pizza,
okay,
Southside Staple Pizza, and then she said Lem's.
Lem's.
She said, I gotta have my Lem's.
They have great ribs, right?
Yes.
They just put them in that window and you can see them and you can eat them. I remember a crew taking me there one day. Good barbecue there. So we're not even in the top 10. Has anybody been to San Jose, California and had barbecue on the shift right now? Larry?
I have not.
No, Frank, you travel a lot. Frank, you've never had okay, next time you go, Frank is our floor director today. You got to try the barbecue and get back to us, okay? We'll do. I was surprised like you on that one.
Yeah, that was surprising. I mean, I would try other things there, but barbecue wouldn't be top of mind.
No, I never would have
But
guessed.
hey, if we're ever out there, now we know.
Yeah, so there you go, Larry. You two were discussing the Dallas place that you remembered in Dallas, Texas. Do you remember your favorite barbecue there? Was it not Rudy's, but what did you
There
say?
were 2 places.
Okay.
Dickey's was like the chain, which was really good, and there was another place that only had a few locations called Hard Eights,
Okay.
which had really good barbecue.
Yeah.
Really.
I've got one. It's Pecan Lodge. It was featured on diners, drive-ins, and dives. The line is wrapped around the building, but the key is you got to go up to the bar because it's first come, first serve seating.
And then once it's full, that's it.
Yes, I mean the brisket is on point. They have good greens, mac and cheese.
Was it pecan or pecan?
I say pecan.
You can
Right.
go either way.
What if
yeah.
it's the type of wood they use, or if do they have good dessert?
It's the
too?
wood.
Yeah, it's the wood.
It's the wood. The dessert, their banana pudding wasn't too bad.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's the sides and the brisket for me.
Mm.
And then a small spot called the Slow Bone in South Dallas. That was great too.
I go to this place out by us in Naperville called Sharko's. Really good. Their sliced turkey smoked is amazing. So I've already decided turkey, barbecue, and then pizza this week. I'm going Chicago Classic.
Oh my goodness.
And I know.
There's Uncle Bub's in Westmont, too,
Yes.
which is really a good barbecue place.
They have won the Rib
Naperville
Fest.
Rib
Oh,
Yeah.
right. You're right. You're right.
They've done the Rib Fest a couple times, Larry, and you've been out there before for Rib Fest.
I was a judge one time.
Yeah, I had a chance to be a judge with Mayor Pradle out there.
How do I sign up to be?
I know,
a judge?
we gotta get you out there.
Everybody's been a judge
such
but
a
me.
good-
Oh, it was so good. So there you go. Now we're hungry again.
Again,
Oh, so
2 days in a row.
hungry.
Pizza and barbecue. I want you two to report next week what you had this weekend.
Okay.
I'm starving now. Larry, what's the weather like this weekend?
Well, not too bad. Temperatures are going to be a little bit above average this weekend. Average high is 32. We're going to be in the mid to upper 30s on both Saturday and Sunday. Tonight, though, it's kind of cold out there. Temperatures in the 20s. There will be some patchy fog that forms overnight tonight. With temperatures below freezing, that would mean some freezing fog. So there might be some slick spots on some bridges and overpasses where the fog's a little bit thicker. That's more towards daybreak tomorrow, but be aware of that. On Saturday for tomorrow, some sunshine, not a full sunny day, but there'll be some breaks in the clouds with highs in the mid-30s. And then on Sunday, some flurries in the morning, and then temperatures climb into the upper 30s as we head into Sunday afternoon. Beautiful evening, though, downtown. It's 27 degrees right now at the airport. Winds are very light, so not much of a wind chill this evening. It's 27 at the lakefront. 25 right now in Midway, 23 in Joliet and in Aurora, 28 right now in Waukegan. Still quite a bit of cloud cover with us. I know it's kind of hard to see, but we still have mostly cloudy skies over top of our area. And temperatures are pretty cold back in the northern plains, but down to the south, it's not too bad. It's 40 right now in St. Louis. For us tonight, we will drop into the mid to low 20s with some upper teens in our colder locations. But note the winds. They'll start to come in off the lake tomorrow morning, and that will likely produce a deck of clouds that will kind of keep the city cloudy through much of the day. If you're farther inland during the start of the day, you'll get at least a little sunshine, but then it'll be mostly cloudy throughout much of the afternoon with temperatures warming into the mid 30s. But tonight, plan on a cold night. We'll drop several more degrees from where we stand right now. Mid to low 20s and some upper teens. And then tomorrow, high temperatures climb into the mid to some upper 30s with mostly cloudy skies, especially closer to the lakefront. Our high today was 34, 25 the low, 32 and 20 are the average highs and average lows for this date. There's a little system down to our south, and the big rains continue across Northern California up into the Pacific Northwest. Look at that swirl. That's one of those powerful storms that's now moving towards the west coast. There's other ones lined up back in the Pacific Ocean, and they've got a couple more weeks of these off and on rainstorms and snowstorms to come on through California. Much needed rain, but the flooding concern is still very high here across central and northern California, and then winter storm warnings in the mountains there farther to the east. For us, though, we'll keep an eye on this storm to the south. I tell you, it looks like it's going to stay far enough south where we're not going to have any major issues, but there could be some flurries in the area Sunday morning. There's 7:30 Sunday. And then as we head through the afternoon on Sunday, temperatures climb into the upper 30s. Gets a little warmer next week with a high of 42 on Monday with some sunshine on Monday. And I'll call it partly sunny on Tuesday with a high up to 40. As we head into Wednesday next week, temperatures climb into the mid 40s with, again, kind of a mix of sun and clouds on Wednesday. Pretty quiet weather early next week. Tonight, mostly cloudy, cold with some patchy fog. We'll drop into the teens and 20s. 37 tomorrow, 39 on Sunday, then 40s Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Watch for some rain and snow coming in Thursday into Friday. We're back in a moment.
No surprise, the Elvis tribute artist business is mostly male.
But one woman is making a name for herself in the industry. Cheryl Sharkey is also known as Shelvis. She's a well-known Elvis tribute artist in Australia. And by the way, this Sunday marks what would have been Elvis Presley's 88th birthday.
Down in Australia.
There we go. Thanks so much for joining us. For Larry Mowry, I'm Samantha Chapman.
I'm Rob Elgus. Great to have you on the show the last few days, Sam.